Dana White didn't just tease a super fight, he practically shouted it into existence. If Islam Makhachev grabs that 170-pound crown, Ilia Topuria is next. In a single sentence, the UFC boss flipped 2 weight classes upside down, lit every fan forum on fire, and forced champions to look over their shoulders. But that bomb was only the first shockwave. Dustin Poirier just mapped out the final bout of his storied career, while Khabib Nurmagomedov, yes, that Khabib, hinted he would actually shake Conor McGregor's hand under the right circumstances. Stick around, because every thread of this story is about to twist into the next. Daniel Cormier wasted 0 time translating Dana's teaser. It's happening. When DC hears the boss float a match, he knows it's slid onto the UFC's invisible whiteboard, a board that rarely lies. The current plan is simple, but ruthless. Islam first must fend off Jack Della Maddalena in October or November, most likely at Madison Square Garden. If the Dagestani wrecks JDM in that legendary building, Topuria will be waiting with lightweight gold on one shoulder and 2 huge goals in mind: halt Islam's pound-for-pound run and inch 1 step closer to becoming the UFC's first 3-division king. Oddsmakers already list Ilia a favorite over every lightweight not named Islam. That tells you how violently his first-round finish of Charles Oliveira rearranged the sport's unofficial hierarchy. Dana can smell the receipts printing, and the UFC never blinks when a mega cash matchup locks in. But one variable could nuke the plan before it even hits bout agreement stage. So what's Topuria about to do that might wreck everything? Behind closed doors, the UFC's top execs have begged El Matador to pump the brakes on a welterweight jump. They want at least 1 show-stopping title defense at 155, and the grudge match with Paddy Pimblett prints money faster than the mint. Topuria knows it. Pimblett knows it. Every casual fan salivates at the sound of it. Yet the Spaniard keeps one eye fixed on a legacy, not just a payday. If he waits, forgoes Pimblett, and lets Islam clear JDM, the stage is set for a champion versus champion collision New Year's weekend 2026. Risk enormous. Reward the kind that rewrites UFC history books. Still, the call of Paddy's trash talk may be too loud. Imagine London or New York packed with Paddy's diehard crowd, Ilia's newly converted supporters, and Dana standing cage side counting future revenue in real time. 1 spectacular defense, 1 highlight reel, and Topuria walks into the Islam bout as an even bigger star, maybe as the A side. Meanwhile, a different legend just announced a blueprint for his own farewell. Dustin the Diamond Poirier swears UFC 318 will be his last walk. At 36, with 40+ professional wars etched across his face, he wants a perfect ending in his home state. His plan is surgical. Read Max Holloway's timing early, beat him to the punch, sting him with clean leather, then punish every miss until the Hawaiian's rhythm collapses. In classic Poirier fashion, he vows to stay technical until the moment a brawl is required. Dana White openly admits the entire New Orleans card was built to honor that career crescendo. For one night, the Smoothie King Center becomes Lafayette South, and Dustin intends to slam the door on a resume already Hall of Fame bound. But if sentimentality makes any misstep, Max Holloway will rip it away and pocket Dustin's storybook finish for himself, because Holloway isn't here to play spoiler, he's chasing a second reinvention. After lifting the BMF strap from Justin Gaethje, Blessed mapped out a surprise run at lightweight, yet nothing legitimizes that plan unless he topples Poirier, the man who's beaten him twice. Max claims the extra 10 pounds change everything. More gas in the tank, sturdier chin, heavier hands to match his volume. If he's right, a statement win paints Ilia Topuria into a PR corner. Do fans really want Paddy, or do they suddenly want Max at 155 for revenge? That answer may ride on one July night in New Orleans. And speaking of revenge, Daniel Cormier just lifted the curtain on a private argument that rattled even the Eagles' legendary composure. On DC's latest show, the broadcaster confessed that years ago, Khabib confronted him for chumming it up with Conor McGregor on Fight Week media sets. Loyalty, Khabib said, has to be absolute. Yet in that same heated exchange, the Dagestani quietly unveiled a shocker. Under the right circumstances, say if Conor's family stood beside him, Khabib would extend his hand in respect. Considering their rivalry dragged religion, nationality, and a post-fight melee into the cage, that single sentence felt seismic. It revealed how time, success, and reflection can sandblast even the hardest grudges. But the conversation didn't end with McGregor. It spiraled into another line DC never expected to hear. Pressed on whether the same olive branch might extend to John Jones, Khabib shut the door. Jones and DC are sworn enemies, so by Khabib's personal code, a friendship is impossible. He can respect John's greatness. He even calls Jones the greatest mixed martial artist alive. But friendship crosses a line carved by loyalty. That stance forced Cormier to rethink how casually he treated the McGregor feud in public. If the Eagle stays that loyal, shouldn't DC match the energy? The revelation not only deepened fans' admiration for Khabib's conviction, it also framed future storylines. Should Islam ever end up arch rivals with Topuria, or heaven forbid Conor again? Khabib's loyalty map will redraw itself overnight. And speaking of redraws, every pending matchup over the next 6 months is lining up like dominoes. Scenario A: Islam bulldozes JDM, Ilia waits, and we kick off 2026 with one of the biggest champion versus champion super fights imaginable. Scenario B: Ilia crushes Pimblett late this year, vaults his mainstream star power, then meets Islam with an even louder hype machine. Scenario C: JDM detonates the Dagestani dream in the garden, and suddenly the UFC has a free-range welterweight belt, a scrambling lightweight king, and a Topuria trilogy wish list that includes Max, Paddy, Gaethje, and maybe even Volkanovski. All the while, Poirier might ride into the sunset or double back if a fresh belt calls his name. Beneath those headlines lurk Arman Tsarukyan, Justin Gaethje, and the BMF title picture, each one ready to slide in when the giants stumble. The next 7 nights inside the octagon could redraw 5 years of matchmaking, and every handshake or refusal among legends adds fuel to that fire. Respect and rivalry in MMA shift faster than a spinning heel kick. 1 month a super fight is fantasy, the next it's penciled onto Dana's calendar. A career-long enemy can become a polite conversation if the family's watching, and a retirement fight can morph into a championship encore with a single punch. So keep your notifications on, because the moment one domino falls, the entire map of 2 divisions might collapse with it. Who walks away with history in their pocket first? Islam, Ilia, Dustin, or Max? Drop your pick below, smash that subscribe button for daily updates, and buckle up. The next headline is probably already writing itself. That wraps today's Fight Bulletin. Strike Script bringing you the fastest hands in MMA news. If these headlines kept you ahead of the scorecards, tap like and let the algorithm know we won the round. Subscribe and hit the breaking bell so you're first to hear every contract signing, weigh-in drama, and surprise call out. Got an inside scoop or bold prediction? Drop it in the comments. You might see your tip featured in tomorrow's update for real-time flashes from pressers and gyms. Until the next alert, stay sharp, stay informed, and keep your guard up. This is Strike Script signing off.